Hey everybody, Marcus, Integrative Dental, Dr. Alfred Marcus. We're doing a Facebook Live, pretty cool topic. We'll be getting to our Father's Day drawing that we're going to have just before Father's Day. But right now, before we start, topic today is going to be how do you fill cavities without having fillings done? Is that possible? And the answer is yes. We're going to go through that. But before we start, we're going to do our drawing from last week. We had a number of entries. We're actually going to do 2 drawings, and I'm going to use this roulette wheel. How's that? Is that good? Okay. So, we're good? All right. So, you're going to notice there's a number on top. There's a number on the bottom. We're going to spin it 2 times. The first spin is going to be for the top number. The top number then is going to correspond to somebody's name on this list. And then that person will be a winner. We'll do a second spin. This time it'll be for the lower number. And that person then will get the second bleaching kit. So these are for bleaching kits, and we spoke about that last week and explained how you can enter. I'm hoping to do some type of giveaway every time we do a Fun Fact Friday, but we'll work through the logistics of this as we go. So this will be our first drawing, Stephen, right? Okay, very good. So I'm going to spin it. Can we see? Are we good? Here we go. And it's spinning, and it is, what number? Number 1? Number 1, Patsy Jaramillo. Congratulations. We will get in touch with you, and be sure to get that bleaching kit to you. And we do have her contact information, correct, Steve? Okay. All right, so now, second bleaching kit is going to be the bottom number, and we are going to spin it. Let's go the other way and see what happens. And it's spinning, and here we go. We are at number what? Number 15. Okay, number 15, that would go to Perla Aguirre. Congratulations, you got the second bleaching kit. Once again, we'll reach out to you. So stay tuned for the end of this Facebook Live, and we'll give you all information for this Father's Day barbecue grill. I think that's going to be pretty cool, and you know, it'll make a nice Father's Day gift. So anyway, Dr. Alfred Marcus Integrative Dental Care. And once again, today's topic is how to treat cavities without fillings. Is that really possible? I'm here to tell you it is. So this will be an interesting topic, and certainly something that'll be very practical to you. So in order to understand tooth decay, I'm going to have to go into a little bit of anatomy. I'll make it brief, short, just so you can understand. I want you to have an idea of what tooth decay is and why we get it. When we look at teeth, it's composed of layers, just like so many different parts of our body. There's layers. Very simply, it's the outer layer, which is enamel. Enamel is a clear, hard material, semi color in nature, but it's mostly translucent or clear. And the enamel actually is the hardest structure in the entire human body. And rightfully so, because it does a lot of work, a lot of grinding and chewing. It's got to be protected. The next layer is the dentin. That's the internal layer of the tooth. It's softer, and it serves a purpose, and inside of that will be the nerve of a tooth in general. That's what it is. So we're going to focus then on the process of tooth decay and how it happens, how it occurs. So tooth decay obviously is going to start from the outside and work its way in. It has to go through the enamel, and finally it gets into the dentin. We try to address remineralization, which I'll talk about here in a little bit, of cavities that are starting when they're in the enamel. Once they get into the dentin, chances are you're going to end up having to get a filling. But if we can address cavitation or tooth decay that starts in the enamel, we can actually stop it in its tracks. We can actually even reverse it. So we'll go over that in just a little bit. So a little bit more about the anatomy. Enamel is made of different crystals, a crystal called hydroxyapatite. And these are very, very strong crystals that interlock and form this matrix that goes around the tooth. So these chains are exceptionally strong, but they can be weakened by what? By acid. Okay, there's a constant exposure of our teeth to acid, and if it's not acid, then it's alkaline. Tooth decay and decalcification and remineralization depends very much on the pH. Okay, what is pH? pH is very simply, is the environment acidic or is the environment alkaline? There's a difference between the two. Now, that being said, enamel exposed to an acidic environment, mineral is being pulled out of the enamel. But fortunately, we have systems where mineral will be pushed back in, and that has to be in an alkaline environment. So the more time that you're in an acidic environment, the worse it is for the enamel. The more time you are in the alkaline environment, the better. And that's where we want to be as much of the time as possible so that we can drive mineral back into where cavities are starting. Cavitation, actually, when it's in the enamel. There are some other things that we'll talk about that we can do. I want you to realize, though, most of the times if we see a mouth that has a cavity on one tooth, I'm almost assured that I'm going to find tooth decay on another tooth. And the reason is that the entire mouth is going to be acidic, probably for the same amount of time, and different teeth will be affected. So, what we have, one of the biggest defenses that we have to help us with tooth decay is the saliva. Saliva has mineral in it. It has capacity to neutralize acid, and subsequently we have more mineralization of the teeth when we have healthy saliva. So healthy saliva flow is definitely important. Okay, what else can we do to drive mineral into the tooth? Well, let's make it available. So, first of all, why in the world does our mouth turn acidic? There's one bacteria in particular that is really great at producing acid, unfortunately, producing acid that harms our enamel, that harms our tooth structure. That bacteria is actually strep mutans. And strep mutans, or more the long name, Streptococcus mutans, actually, most of us, we're born without it, but we acquire it. We can acquire it through drinking from glasses, kissing, to putting our hands in our mouth, just so many different things. But once we get strep mutans, it's in there. And strep mutans loves sugar. When it digests sugar, turns it into acid. And that that then starts to change the environment in our mouth. Now that being said, strep mutans is very adaptive. It loves sugar, it eats sugar, but it can use like different carbohydrates as well. So if we're able to monitor, or rather control, the pH in our mouth and reduce the acidity, then the acid that strep mutants make is not going to be as detrimental to our teeth, if that makes sense. So controlling the strep mutants and the amount of acid that it's made and the opportunity that it has is part of the recalcification or remineralization of the teeth. In an acidic environment, it does more damage. In an alkaline environment, it does much less damage, and we actually have opportunity to remineralize our teeth. We can end up in a more acidic environment depending on our diets, depending on whether we clean our teeth, we brush our teeth. Also, perhaps certain medications will tend to dry our mouth. There'll be less saliva, so subsequently less opportunity to remineralize the teeth, and that's why people with dry mouth, or people that breathe through their mouth, for example, that have a tendency to have a dry mouth will actually have more tooth decay. So we want to limit that the time that our teeth are exposed to acid. Now, yes, you can drink like lemon flavored foods or drinks like that, and yes, that's more acidic, but I'm not telling you give that up. It's okay, drink it, but just don't make that be drink after drink after drink. Let your mouth, your teeth rather, remineralize, and go periods of time that you're not ingesting sugar, you're not ingesting foods, you're not ingesting acid, because the saliva and its intake of mineral is very, very effective when you're in that alkaline state. Your teeth will mineralize. What about different toothpaste? Well, we hear about fluoride. Fluoride actually will be incorporated into the enamel, and it will make stronger crystals and much more resistance to tooth decay. Now, granted, there's some debate about fluoride. Is fluoride good or bad for you? My personal opinion, I don't think at this point it is an issue, but I have to acknowledge that there is controversy whether it's good for you or not in the long run. That's a decision that you have to look at and think about. Now, what else can you do to create a more alkaline environment? Well, one of the easiest things you can do is rinse your mouth. And I'm not talking about rinses that contain alcohol and are antiseptic. As a matter of fact, there's times when we use those rinses, but the reality is that those mouth rinses can affect our bacteria, and they affect a lot of things. So I'm a little hesitant in recommending that you use oral rinses all the time. Something that you could do is very simple. You can perhaps get a glass of water, put some baking soda, put some salt in it, mix it around, put it in your mouth, swish it, and then empty your mouth. That actually will change the pH of your mouth. So as you do that, your teeth will remineralize, cavities will be filled, and guess what? You're going to have a healthier mouth. So just some tips. If you'd like more information on that, reach out to us. We have different topics. Fun Fact Friday, I think I asked everyone, if you have something you want to hear us talk about, let me know. I got a message from Nippy. It was you, Nippy. Nippy said he wants to know about the muscle strengtheners for the jaw. Are they really worth doing? So we'll talk about it. Stimpy, I'm sorry. My bad. But anyway, so we'll go into different topics. Now, next week, we're going into still another topic. In order for you to be registered for the grill that we were announcing for Father's Day, I would like for you to share us, to like us, and share the live and say a prayer, and maybe you will be a winner. So we also have platforms on YouTube, we have Instagram. In fact, we'll be doing the live on Instagram as well. We also have our website, marcusintegrativedental.com. So I hope you found this interesting. I encourage you to give us a call should you have any questions at all. Like us and share us again. You will be entered into that drawing for the grill. Thank you.